Big Facts ENT. What's up, everybody? I want to talk about the Art of Dialogue video concerning Eugene Deal. Very good interview he did with Eugene Deal. In particular, I want to talk about the Puffy and Andre Harrell didn't like Tupac part in the video. Well, not that part, but I want to talk about the video period. And I think the previous video Art of Dialogue did. Eugene Deal said something. I think Art of Dialogue asked Eugene Deal, did Biggie warn Tupac about the guys he was messing around or hanging with? And Eugene Deal said something to the effect of, no, he didn't warn Tupac because Tupac was the type of dude that'd go back and tell dudes, yo, Big told me to watch out for y'all. So he told him Big said that to him. Tupac, he said Biggie told him Tupac the type of dude that go back and tell dude what you said. So Eugene figures that he didn't warn Tupac. But in fact, like Art of Dialogue said, there's been many statements and many proven statements that suggest that Big did warn Tupac. And matter of fact, Tupac even stated Big warned me. I think in the interview, I think Tupac even said that Big told him to watch out for these dudes, man. You hanging with some rough characters. Watch out for them dudes. Yeah, matter of fact, Tupac even said that himself. That Big told him that. It's in the interview, man. Don't make me go find it. But yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Tupac did do an interview where he said Big did warn him. I did tell him about the guys he was messing with. Well, anyway, Tupac said it. And Art of Dialogue said there's been statements from other people that said Big warned Tupac, right? And Big told Gene Deal, you can't tell Tupac nothing because he'll go back and tell dude what you said. And that's true too, because I got proof that Tupac would. If you told Tupac about something, I'm not saying Tupac did this all the time, and I'm not judging Tupac. But if you told Tupac, like let's say, the same thing with, let's say the biggest situation is exactly. So if you told Tupac, hey man, them dudes shady. I went F with them guys, man. I went F with them dudes, value Pac. I'm just trying to look out for, hey man, them dudes shady. Tupac will put your, not judging Tupac, but he would actually put you at risk, put your life in danger by going back and telling them that you said they were shady. You know what I'm saying? He would go back and I don't know why. I mean, I got proof that he would do that. Check out this audio. Now, this is audio from Mob James' brother, Timmy Rue, when he was on death row, when he was hanging out with Tupac. Check it out.
You talking about Tupac, right?
Yeah. I mean, we shooting pool in the back, all of that, getting high.
Yeah.
And they seen him shooting shit with me instead of them that night, and told him, man, like Jesus cool, but you been got killed hanging with him. I didn't know that at that time though.
So this came out way later.
No, about 2 days later, he had wound up hitting me, and I was like, shit, I'm in the hood. I'm like, shit, they told me I'ma get killed if I'm fucking with you like that, and like, nigga, you fuck around and get killed hanging with them like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So shit.
Now, I let y'all hear that audio not because I wanted Tupac to look bad, not because I'm judging Tupac in that situation, because in that situation everybody looks bad. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, it looks like destruction from within the crew. The crew being two-faced towards each other, talking about each other. That could lead to bad blood. That could lead to somebody getting hurt. They put Tupac in the middle of it. You know, so now Tupac is kind of Tupac chooses to just tell old boy what they said. And that should have been discussed. You know, stuff like that is destructive within the crew. Not judging Tupac in that situation. That situation just came to mind when Art of Dialogue said that Big said Tupac would go back. Well, not Art of Dialogue. Eugene said Big said Tupac would go back. If you tell Tupac the type of dude, if you tell him something, he'll go back and tell the other dude what you said. You know what I'm saying? So when Eugene Deal said that, I remember this audio coming to mind. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, not judging Tupac in that situation, because really those dudes was hanging with Timmy Rue. I don't know if, you know, they supposed to be one big blood family, right? And they telling Pac, don't hang with him, he gonna get you killed. So, hey, it all looks bad right there, bro. But anyway, the situations are kinda similar in the fact that Pac's friends is trying to look out for him and warn him not to, or be careful of hanging with the other individuals or so-called friends, because it might be a danger to yourself in hanging with those guys. So in both situations, Pac was being warned by friends that was looking out for him not to go hang with the other party, or watch out, be careful about hanging with the other party. So we have proof in one situation that Pac went back and told the other party what the other party said. You know. Now, I suspect if Pac would have did that, if Pac did this, I suspect, in my opinion, I can't verify it, but I suspect Pac would have had no problem going back and telling them guys what Biggie said. But I can't verify that to be true. All we can go by is what Eugene Deal said when he said Biggie said Pac is the type of dude that if you tell him something, he would go back and tell the other dude what you said. Period. Point blank. So I don't know if Big's talking about a situation that he experienced with Pac where Pac did that, or Big is talking about the Vibe interview that Pac did after when he was in jail. You know what I'm saying? Where Pac was just telling everything, or just telling his whole story of what happened, you know, in that regard. And Michael Powell, I believe that's his name. I know his last name is Powell, the editor of that, the interviewee and editor of that magazine. He said that he had to change the names around. He had to change their names because people would have gotten locked up if he didn't change those names around. From what Pac was saying, Pac was telling the real names, you know what I'm saying, of these people, and they could have been they could have gotten arrested. They could have been under investigation for what Pac said in that interview, you know. So now Art of Dialogue Art of Dialogue asked a fair question to Eugene Deal He said, was it fair that if Biggie said that Pac would go back and tell dude what he said, is it safe to assume that Big knew who shot Pac, but he was scared to tell Pac because Pac would go back to the dudes and say, Biggie said Biggie said you shot me. Or Pac would put Biggie name in it. What Biggie told me, so and so and so did it. Go back to those dudes and say, Biggie said you did it, and get Biggie fucked up. So, Art of Dialogue, as Eugene Deal, that's pretty much common sense, and that is common sense. Art of Dialogue got a great point. Had a great point with that. Yeah, and here's my theory. And like I said, I don't have proof of this, but if what Eugene says is in accurate order, then it lines up. Then it makes sense for my theory to be true, because this all happened before the Vibe interview. So my theory is that Biggie warned Tupac about the dudes he was hanging with. Tupac went and told the dudes, King Tut or whoever he was hanging with. Big said that y'all some rough dudes, some shady characters, that I need to watch out. I need to watch my back hanging with y'all, or whatever to that effect. Pac went and told those dudes what Big said. Those dudes confronted Big. You went and told Pac, we this and that, to look out for us and all. So Big like, I ain't telling that nigga nothing else. Nigga like to got me lined up. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's what I'm thinking what happened. And that's why Big, when Pac was trying to reach out to Big, asking Big what happened, that's why Big wasn't saying anything, telling Pac what he wanted to know. That's just my theory. And you know what else? Art of Dialogue kind of tripped up Eugene Deal, because he kind of tricked up Eugene Deal because he asked Eugene Deal, did you ever talk to Big about why he didn't warn Pac? And Gene Deal said Big told him Pac is the type of dude that if you tell him something, he would go back and tell the dudes what you said. So now Art of Dialogue Art of Dialogue asked a fair question to Eugene Deal. He said, was it fair that if Biggie said that Pac would go back and tell dude what he said, is it safe to assume that Big knew who shot Pac, but he was scared to tell Pac because Pac would go back to the dudes and say, Biggie said Biggie said you shot me. Or Pac would put Biggie name in it. What Biggie told me, so and so and so did it. Go back to those dudes and say, Biggie said you did it, and get Biggie fucked up. So Art of Dialogue, as Eugene Deal, that's pretty much common sense, and that is common sense. Art of Dialogue got a great point. Had a great point with that. Biggie coulda knew who shot Pac, but didn't want to say anything because he was scared Pac would go back and tell dude like he did before, like Pac would do. So yeah, it's a possibility Biggie could have known what was gonna happen, but stayed quiet. Or if he didn't know, he probably knew after Pac got shot what really happened, and was scared to say something to Tupac because he felt Tupac would go throw his name under the bus. You know what I'm saying? Put him out there and say, Biggie told me. You see what I'm saying? So Art of Dialogue was right. Eugene Deal just got over emotional about the question. I think it was a fair question. And this has been Big Facts. We out.